This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by Mountain Glass Arts. For the month of March, Mountain Glass is offering Northstar first quality borosilicate rods at 25% off. Just put in the code Northstar at checkout. That's NORTHSTAR. And for all you soft glass nerds, they're offering their soft glass COE 104 sale double helix rods at 15% off. Just put in the code DHELIX at checkout. That's DHELIX. And for any other questions or comments, please go to mountainglass.com. That is mountainglass.com. This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. We will be dissecting their journeys in hopes to deliver actionable content that you, the artist, can start implementing now, helping you grow not only as a creative spirit, but also a successful artistic entrepreneur. With a little organization, relationship building, and your artistic ability, you can obtain greatness. Climb aboard, whether an artist, retail owner, or enthusiast. We have a ton of fun in store for you. Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show, episode number 93. This is Jay Michael, your host. Thank you so much for tuning in today. With 17 years of experience behind a torch, I'm as excited as always to bring you conversations with artists, sharing their stories in hopes to inspire and entertain while helping you grow your business. And today is no exception, as today we are going to be discussing social media. Just recently with the occurrence of Instagrams changing their algorithms, I thought this would be a hot topic of conversation, especially when everybody wants you to turn on your post notifications. And I'm going to give you 5 ways to use social media as a tool and not rely on it to sell your work. I think lately and over the past 5 years, social media has become a lazy way of getting your work out there. It is a tool. It is a great way of getting your work out there, but it is not where the finish line is, per se, if you want to be successful in a business and get your stuff out there, especially as these companies start turning all their free shit into pay-to-play. But before we get into that, I wanted to let you guys know that our newest sponsor I wanted to introduce is a company called C-Cube Company, based out of Delaware. A guy named Chris Bach. He is a scientific glassblower, makes his own handmade tools, tabletops, bench rollers, all kind of fun stuff. He also specializes in insulated coffee cups and beer mugs, basically like kind of a double-lined glass wall that's got a hollow cavity on the inside. That's got a little bit of a vacuum gas inside of it, which keeps your coffee hot and your liquid cold. And he's going to be our guest here at the end of the week. I have him on to discuss himself and his background and his history and his company as well. And I'm just super pumped that he is now our newest sponsor for the show. So thank you, C-Cube Company and Chris Bach, for coming on board and helping keep this show going. And which actually helped to get me out to Tucson, which I'll be going out there in May for the upcoming symposium for the American Glassblowing Society's symposium they have going on, which I'm super pumped about. I'm going to be bringing my little camera out there, doing a lot of video work and taking pictures and doing interviews. I have a buddy of mine who I work with at Arribas Brothers, who is one of our glass cutters, is a video producer, editor, what have you, and he's going to help me put all this together and the post-production side of things, which I'm excited about. And he's also going to be coming into town on my side of the state here pretty soon, and helping me get all my video shot for the YouTube channel coming up, which I'm pretty pumped about. And since I'm doing all this technology shit on my own, it definitely takes a long time to get it done. The new website's coming along just fine at wiseguymedia.com, which again will be your hub for all things wise in the world of Wise Guy Media. Also wanted to introduce and let you guys know about a new app coming out, which I will be discussing in this episode as well, which I'm really happy about, that I've been part of the beta testing on for the past 2 months. So other than that, definitely go to mountainglass.com. Don't forget, for all you kids out there that are just getting started, that have questions about the tools you want to get and buy, episode 91 that I just did recently was all about getting yourself set up for under 2K, with links to Mountain Glass for all the setups and tools. And if you go to mountainglass.com/wiseguy, you can go there and see the page they've created for the show, where you can get 5% off, extra off your starter kits and purchases, which is a hell of a deal. So without further ado, it is time to get into 5 ways to use social media to your advantage. All right. So today I'm going to be discussing a hot topic, which is 5 ways to be successful by using social media as a tool and not a platform to sell your work. With the recent updates that Instagram has done, it has caused a frenzy amongst the art community, particularly the pipe industry, but really just Instagram in general. I don't really know, honestly, the full specific details on how the Instagram new algorithm is going to work, but I do know that it is basically taking our post and putting them out of chronological order. So something that I posted, say, 2 months ago may actually be a current post today that you see as if I just posted it today, which is kind of crazy. I think it kind of sucks in a sense too, because I know when the Instagrams first started and people started doing the Throwback Thursdays and the Man Crush Mondays and the Woman Crush Wednesdays and all that kind of stuff, I'm kind of curious if in fact, say I do a Woman Crush Wednesday post, if that's going to actually just post on Thursday 2 months from now, kind of shit. Like, I don't really know how that's going to happen, so. But I'm definitely curious to see. But because of that, I thought it was very applicable to current situations to discuss really why I feel, and I know a lot of other folks feel, that social media really has made the entrepreneur lazy. It's a very fun, creative outlet for you to get exposure, to gain followers, to get your product out there in front of a lot of people, because I do feel, as I approach 10,000 followers, that potentially all 10,000 of my followers are customers. But in fact, really only about 1,000 of you who follow me on Instagram are probably my real true fans. And there's a couple books that have been written that out there. One's about that, your whole idea of your 1,000 true fans. And also, like Seth Godin wrote a book called Tribes, and it's all about this whole same concept about basically building your tribe and being a leader of that tribe. Not a leader of like bossing your folks around or your people that are following you, but really the idea of creating a product or a brand for yourself, being transparent and creative in your world or whatever it is that you're doing in business, and then bringing people along for the ride, and people that are true fans of your work and that have the same like-minded thoughts and I guess consider what you do as your work to be something that they really love. And the idea is that out of those 1,000 people that are your true fans, you could potentially sell at least one item to each one of those people. And if you have, like, say, a $10 item, and you sell one $10 item to each person over a year, that's an additional $10,000 that you could potentially bring in. And that's just at $10, just kind of the idea. But it is a book that I recommend, and just kind of a quick plug here, you guys can go to audibletrial.com, that's AUDIBLE, trial.com/Wise Guy Radio, and you can go there and download the app and get a 30-day free trial, and also get this book with Tribes that Seth Godin put out there on audio and listen to it while you're working. Anything Seth Godin, honestly, out there in the world, he has the #1 blog in the world, literally. This dude's written, I think it's now up to 17 books that have been printed in over 12 plus languages. And his really focus on his whole purpose in life is how to help us connect with people. He feels like the cell phone, for instance, is not designed to play Angry Birds and send Snapchats. It is a people connector. And even though Snapchat is a way of connecting to people, it's just one small way of connecting with people. And the fact that we can have this in our hand, on us all the time, is what makes this thing really huge. Matter of fact, recently I joined a group on a fitness group called Zen Dude Fitness. Brandon Epstein and Dan Whitmer, who I will have on the show, actually did a recording interview, and because they're in Colombia, our signal is terrible, so we're going to have to do a retake on it. But I've been involved with these guys now for the past 2 months, and literally I have lost 20 pounds and am slowly reforming and rechanging how I look physically. My pants, everything's too big. Some things are getting too small because I'm actually putting on muscle, but it's all because I have access to these cats on my phone, and I can do it while I'm at Disney, I can do it while I'm at the beach or wherever, and have accountability with folks in this group. So it's, again, our phones are awesome technology. It is a tool. It is a people connector. It is a tool for us to use to sell our work. So without going in any kind of other rants here, let us now get into this topic. Basically what we're going to cover are the 5 ideas. Is 1, for you to use your Instagram bio to link other outlets you have in your online space. Number 2 is to create a Facebook business page and utilize it for promoting current work and update your tribe. Number 3 is to create and maintain an email list. Everyone has an email. Number 4 is use all social media platforms, but focus on the ones that your customers are most likely using. And number 5 is to build a website, like a Wix or a WordPress site of some sort, or also use the online platform stores such as eBay, Etsy, and big cartels and other ones. So to back up now, to start at the very beginning, the idea with Instagram now is what I've been really using Instagram for, not only to post pictures and to have fun with you guys and connect, but also to use it for a way to connect you to certain areas in my life, whether it's websites or links to certain things that I want to share. Using your bio is a great way to use that for links. So say you put a post up, you want to get people to go and see that product or what have you, just put that link in your bio. For the podcast, for instance, on the Wise Guy Radio podcast page, I have the iTunes links up in the bio, iTunes link in the bio, but also we'll change out that link for every episode that I post up, so that way you have a direct link to that post. For instance, if you want to go on Etsy and you have an Etsy account, or you have a website that you're putting up new product lines, and you want to do a little picture, screen capture, whatever, and share that photo on your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever, you can then take that link to that page and put it in your bio, and then people have direct access to it. Especially because you have, as you all know, you can't put links in your comments and what have you. And you can put links in your comments, but you can't copy paste it unless you actually own that account, where you can then just edit it and then cancel the edit, because you can copy and paste. But digress back to what I was talking about. Instagram, again, has changed their algorithms and the way things are working, so we got to take Instagram and use it a little bit differently. I think as we all grow with this Instagram thing and we can learn differently on how it's actually going to work, we'll be able to evolve. But again, the whole idea is, as a business owner, is learning how to pivot when things get in the way. If you can't pivot, then you won't be successful and your business will fall through the cracks and you will disappear in the world of cyberspace out there, because the sea of Instagram is massive. Massive, massive, massive. It's incredible. Number 2 is to create yourself a Facebook business page. Now, Facebook has kind of gotten a little crazy too with the way that they've done things. Literally, they have put businesses out of business that were successful, and they were successful because of their Facebook business pages. Literally, multi-million-dollar businesses saw their revenue go from millions of dollars to zero overnight, and had to close their doors and fire employees and what have you. That, again, is because Facebook decided they wanted to change the way they were doing things. Facebook is very active if you can pay to play. They have budgets you can set for yourself where you can actually directly post certain posts to a specific area of people. For instance, if I want to promote these classes I have coming up, then I will just pay a small fee, create an ad, which I'm learning about. They're very picky about their pictures and what you can have in the content and who you can choose to see it. But for say $15 that it costs to do a post, you can have that post be viewed by thousands of people out there. I know myself personally on my Facebook page, having been on Facebook since more or less the very beginning, I am about at that 4,000 max limit. And because of that, I'm limited with who's going to see my shit. But if I can pay for Facebook and then have it go out and be viewed by 10,000 people that aren't even in my friends, really it reaches friends of friends and friends of their friends, people that I've put in their bio, activities they enjoy, whatever. It links to them, also based on posts that they've liked and whatever. It's a very interesting algorithm that Facebook has. But by creating a Facebook group page or a business page, again, you can take that link and stick it in your Instagram bio, and then you can post stuff on Instagram that is directly related to your Facebook page. And if you want to run auctions, whatever, run them on your Facebook page. Don't worry about running them on your Instagram page. Use your Facebook. The Facebook page is there, again, as a tool and a platform. One more outlet, and because it is free, it just takes a little bit of time, you can get this going pretty quickly. The third area that I want to discuss in this whole idea, get my notes out here. I'm actually in traffic driving, trying not to die as I do this with you guys, to make sure I can get this on here. Oh yes, creating emails. One thing I have found that has been the most difficult part of this podcast is to get you folks out there to sign up for my newsletter. I'm I'm not really big at saying, hey, come sign up for my newsletter and I'll give you this for free. Even though I do want to share content, I don't want to use it as like a bait and switch, kind of hook you in to get you to subscribe to my newsletter because I can show sponsors how many active newsletter people I have. It's kind of horseshit to me. But newsletters are great ways to communicate to your audience. And also, if you have a large email list, there are certain companies you can go through that you can then take that email list, upload it into your whatever host that you have. I use MailChimp myself. You can create a fun, crafty, neat little newsletter about yourself, your company, or your brand, or activities you have going on, or whatever, and then you can get it out to your listeners, or your viewers, or your followers, or your tribe through your email list. MailChimp has free campaigns. Once you get to a certain amount of people that actually follow you or are subscribed, then you got to start paying. But again, it's all based on numbers and what have you, which a lot of these companies out there are. But by having a newsletter, again, you have a way to communicate and connect to your tribe. I think email is definitely still the best form of communication because it's consistent, and it's also directly to one place. With every company, platform, brand, app out there now having their own way of communication, it can be I guess you can kind of forget and get lost. You're not sure if someone sent you a message, if it was on your Facebook, if it was on your Instagram, if it was an email, if it was a text, if it was a handwritten letter, if it was a phone call, if it was a snap, or maybe they sent you smoke signals. There's so many different ways of communicating. And to keep track of all this stuff, it makes it even more difficult. As I discussed in episode 1 with Rashawn Jones, I had put out there, it'd be fantastic if someone could actually create an app that basically would put all of our ways of communication into one space somehow or other, make it work. But either way, email. Make sure, though, that if you do collect emails, that you have a thing on there letting your people know that you will not be sharing any of their information with anybody, period, and that because trust is number one in business. Trust is it. If you can't be trusted, then you don't have business. People buy your trust. They don't necessarily buy your product right away. They buy your trust and connection. So make sure that they are aware that you will not be sharing their email. But again, the email address is very important because for nowadays, almost anything we have out there in the world of social media and cyberspace, you have to have an email address to be connected to it, whether it's a Gmail or a personal email or what have you. So definitely focus on emails. That way you can connect to your tribe in one location and not 50. It's huge. Number 4 is just the idea of using all social media platforms. Let's see. Let me think if I can see if I can go over all this now. We have Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, I guess, is one, which I don't use. We have Tumblr. We've got Pinterest, Periscope, Facebook video. Maybe missed one in there. But these are all ways of promoting and connecting and what have you. The idea is to find the ones that your people are using the most and connect to them that way. A lot of times nowadays, things are going to video, especially with Snapchat becoming as popular as it is. It's no more sending your boobs or dick pics that can be viewed for 5 seconds and then they're gone forever. Snapchat is being used now by companies and major corporations, online marketers, to really give you some kind of insights into their personal world, their day-to-day goings. And it's a lot of fun on top of the fact that there's filters and all kind of cool technology, which I love the best out of all of it. There's a lot of people I follow that are really getting into Snapchat now. Major corporations are promoting themselves. You can actually have filters made with your company's brand on there and stuff. It's pretty fascinating the way it's working. But again, you got to find out where your tribe's at. You got to find out how you can connect to people through that way. And whatever those links and connections are, you need to have them in all areas of all platforms. If you're on Facebook, in your Facebook group, you need to have links on your Facebook group where all your social media platforms are. If you're in Instagram in your bio, you need to connect in your bio where you are in the world of cyberspace. Even if you don't have links, you can at least let people know where you are. It's very, very important. But just some ideas there. And number 5, which I think is the most important, is you need a home. You need a place where you can sell your work and people can come visit you and see you. That is not a brick and mortar unless you can afford brick and mortar. That is an online retail space. Whether you're using your own website that you've created, using Wix, making a basic WordPress site or whatever, or using things such as Etsy, Big Cartel, eBay even. There's definitely a lot of new out there platforms that are being created. And, from my experience, they all suck. And I only say that because they're good at first, and then they get changed. And then they get good again, and then they get changed. And then they're good again, and then they get changed. And as we all know, as much as we like things to be consistent, we all also hate change. So if you're new to Etsy, if you're new to Big Cartel, those kind of places, they're easy to get lost in. Some ways now they're using, or they're being created to make it easier to get found, I guess, in a sense. But it takes a lot of damn work, including the websites too. Even if you're just creating a web page, but to sit down and create your own WordPress site, for instance, like I'm doing right now, it's taken me hours upon hours. But what you need to do is get it started. That's the most important part, is just get it started. I'm not sponsored or plugging or promoting whatever, but there's this guy, his website is called Tyler.com. If you just go to YouTube and just put in WordPress websites, he has a WordPress plugin, whatever you want to call it, that is called Tesseract. And he actually has a 2.5-hour YouTube video that he walks you through step by step on how to create your website using his specific Tesseract form, which is very pretty and very user-friendly. Now, I have spent about 5 hours with this 2.5-hour video because I've gone through one step at a time and really learned it and created the step-by-steps and had to go in there, and because he gives you the way that they do it in terms of customizing it for his website. So you got to go in and you got to plug in your own stuff. But that being said, it is still a fantastic tutorial and a great way to get going. You can go to GoDaddy or HostGator, any of those kind of companies out there, Square One, or I don't know what the hell they're called, but there's definitely a lot of hosts out there that you can host your website at for really cheap. And I say cheap, like $5 a month. You might get a domain name. If you can go to GoDaddy, they have sales. I've paid as little as 99 cents. Oh, excuse me, I apologize for the yawn. I paid as little as 99 cents for domains when they've had sales if you sign up for 2 years. A lot of little bells and whistles added to them. I do recommend that you get their 360 mail plugin that they have, which allows you to customize an email address to your website, etc. But if you take the time on the front, in the end, it makes your life a lot easier, and all you gotta do is update it and upload pictures of all new products. You can set up carts in stores and all kind of fun stuff. But again, it is one more place for people to go and visit. Your website needs to be your home. It needs to be your main source of where you're selling your work. Everything 1 through 4 is a tool that you need to use to get people to go to your website, where you will then sell your product. It is very important to understand that if you have a outlet to sell your work, you're probably going to have more exposure to your work and sell more stuff consistently. You can set your website up for direct retail. You can set it up for retail and wholesale. Basically, you can be business to business or B2C or B2B, depending on what you're looking at. But it is very important that you go this route. Some people out there, you can pay to build WordPress sites. A lot of them just use these plugins, and then they charge thousands of dollars for it. If you just take a couple hours a day over several weeks, say in 3 to 4 months, maybe less than that, depending on how much time you have, you could have a badass, customized, beautiful website that doesn't cost you shit. You can have your MailChimp and your GoDaddies and all those things all connected to it, and it may cost you the most about $30 a month. I mean, for reals. That's what I pay. I pay $10 for my MailChimp, I pay $10 for my GoDaddy, and then there's $10 in there for one more thing. I don't remember, but I know there's $10 something else in there. So for around $30 a month is what it costs me to have my website going, and then go from there. Oh, the other $10 is for the Wise Guy Radio. So I've got Wise Guy Media and Wise Guy Radio. I've actually got 5 domain names, a couple of them that we're going to be promoting here pretty soon, but the main 2 right now are for the podcast. Oh, shit, sorry. I'm going on day 2 here, back-to-backs. But yeah, so there you go. So there's the 5 things that you need to do, and I say you need to do and think about and put into perspective when it comes to getting yourself in the social media space, using it as a tool and not relying on it as a way to sell your work. So the first thing you need to do, again, recapping this, use your Instagram bio to links to all your social pages. If you need to change it daily or change it post by post, then do that. Number 2 is to create a Facebook business page or a group page for yourself to get your tribe to go there, which they can then get direct updates. I would say 99% of your followers on Instagrams are also on Facebook. Number 3 is to create and maintain an email list, a way that you can connect directly with your tribe outside of social space, that you can get more of a personalized connection, responses, etc. The 4th thing is to use all social media platforms that correlate and directly respond to you and your tribe. Don't need to use all of them, but use the ones that you find specifically are for where your audience is going to be. And number 5 is to build a site or get an online store like a Etsy or a Big Cartel. If you can take all 5 of these steps and utilize them to your advantage, you will fall in place and you will be successful getting your work out there and exposed, and not freaking out and trying to get everybody in the world under your Instagram page to have to turn on notifications. So every time that you post a picture or something like that, their little phone goes off. That would be annoying as fuck. So hope you guys have enjoyed. I wanted to close this out by introducing you guys to a new app coming out called Hello. It is spelled H-E-I-L-O. I've been a part of this beta testing for the past 2.5 months or so now. I have known about this app for a while and was super excited and pumped when I was introduced to it before it was even available for us to start using. Hello is a basically micro recording, micro podcasting app that allows you to leave a 60-second recording saying whatever the hell you want to say. It gives your followers a chance to reply, and instead of their replies being hidden, they can be. You can send them as private, but they're left public, so you can actually go on there and find specific replies that you've left. You can see replies from the person that you responded to, etc. I like this idea because with the way Instagram has gone now, it gives you an opportunity to say you made some badass something out of glass that you're so excited about and you want to tell a story about it. You now have a 60-second platform to go on there and verbally share your story to your tribe. And then the fun thing about it is you can then connect a link to your Instagram page, which then puts a picture up on there. I put a little sample pic up on my Facebook under my personal, under my Jason Burkholzer Facebook page, which gives you a kind of a promotional spot. I'm going to put it in the newsletter and this as well. I mean, in the show notes. But the idea is that if you're a restaurateur, if you're a podcaster, if you're an artist, if you're whatever, you have something you want to promote and talk about, you're an online coach, this gives you a 60-second platform to verbally connect to your audience. I think the voice is the most important aspect of connection. Whether you're talking into a microphone directly one-on-one, I think because of the text messaging has really hurt society in terms of us communicating with each other. Like my daughter, who's 16, I tried to get her to pick up her phone and call her friends instead of texting. I think the verbal communication is so big. That's one positive about this app. The other fun thing about it, too, is audio sounds in general, just ambient noises. For instance, I came home last night, got home at midnight, and we have a family of owls that live in our neighborhood. And I walked down to the corner with my record on, and I was able to pick up the sounds of these owls hooting away. And it's amazing how the quality of these microphones on the new phones are. But it's just a cool way to share different things to your tribe. Whether it's a rainy day, like I did a beer review recently where I cracked a beer, I poured the beer, took a sip, made lots of noises, and then I put up a link on where to get this beer from. It's just fun stuff, It's a new way for us to communicate. It's a new entertaining way. One of the things I'm going to start here pretty soon with the beta testers is using the telephone game, where I'll record a little sentence, and then the replies will only be able to listen to the sentence one time and then respond and try to duplicate my recording, like the telephone game. Just kind of fun shit. It's also cool because you're not texting and driving. You're actually recording and driving. So you can leave an audio message for a friend, and they can then respond with an audio message back to you. Like you can say, "Hey, babe, I love you. Good talking to you," or "Hope you have a great day." And instead of just sending emojis with smiley faces and hearts and shit, you can actually send someone a message and directly tell them that you love them. So, that being said, when Hello is available, stay tuned because Hello is going to take over the world. I can't wait. I'm super excited about it. And I want to get into more detail as it gets closer to being launched live to the world. So, there you guys go. Enjoy this message, this podcast. 5 ways that you can use Instagram and social media to your advantage without relying on it to sell your work. Love you guys. Don't forget to go to wiseguymedia.com. Go on there and get some previews of what's to come. I have the new subscription bar is up. I'm not sure if it's linked to my MailChimp yet, but go on there and try it anyways. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them at info@wiseguyradio.com. That's info@wyzguiradio.com. And go subscribe to the iTunes. And if you have a Droid, then go listen to me on Stitcher. You guys rock. Love ya. Have a beautiful day. Happy melting. And we will see you all on the next episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show. Take it easy. See ya. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show. If you have any questions, comments, or remarks, please leave them in the show notes page area where it says comments. We'll see you soon. Have a wise night.